What's good, YouTube? This is Tim here, and I'm doing another dual commentary. This time it's going to be Zephyr Yangzings versus Kozmos. So here I don't open up too well. I believe most of the time Zephyr Yangzings would prefer to go second, but since I'm playing Kozmos, obviously they want me to go first. Now I don't know what the issue is with Kozmos playing back rows these days. I mean, before when Kozmos first came out, they hardly play any back row, but now I feel like they do play a lot of back row because time space is good against the mirror and against Majespecters too. And I feel like Kozmos is a deck that can actually take advantage of their aggressiveness, because once you get that spaceship and psychic train going, you can just kind of depend on that to fuel your monsters and still be aggressive, and then you still have space to run some defense with your traps. So a deck that can utilize both your traps and still be aggressive, I'd say, I mean, why not take advantage? So that's why I think Kozmos does play a lot of back row here. So here I'm just trying to thin my deck, trying to draw into my combo pieces. And I do have the scale here, but I think I should have just waited until I had another pendulum scale, because I need to pendulum the Zefraxi in order to make him a tuner, or make another Yangzing into a tuner so I can start synchroing. Because I mean, yeah, so Zephyr is the scale 7, so I couldn't pendulum the Zefraxi, and he MSTs my my Archfiend Eccentric. So he is just trying to make me waste my Yangzing monsters in the main deck by just continuously attacking. I'm not sure if I completely agree with that. So I decided to summon Zephyr off of Beyond, because I still have a Yangzing monster that can be recruiting other ones, and that's like the pros and cons of running the Zephyr pendulums, because the Zephyr pendulums don't recruit another one, but in return, when they're pendulum summoned, you get their effects. And so that's the kind of trade-off you play when you play the Zephyr ones. But I think they're worth it, because Zephyr, whenever it's pendulum summon, gets you any Yangzing or Zephyr monster or Zephyr spell or trap. So you can get your Yangzing paths, your Zephyr divine strikes, and the field spell to net another +1. Now he uses a Monarch Stormforth on my Zephyr, which I completely disagree with, because he should have used it on my Bixie so that I couldn't continuously recruit other Yangzings, and then my Zephyr either way would have been sent to the extra deck. So that was his bad there. So he drops Max C when he blows up my Bixie, and so he's gonna just try to attack through my Yangzings and keep drawing as a result. It's not the position I would want to be in, but I gotta stay alive here. Now I could use the Zephyr Divine Strike to negate that Max C, but ultimately I'm just concerned about his back row, because yeah, he can continue summoning more monsters, but as long as I've got Yangzings to block his attacks, I'm not that worried. I'm just worried about his traps that will just stop me with, like time space and vanity, stuff like that. So so yeah, he activates Kozmo Town, and he's going to add the Wicked Witch. Like, this is what I don't like about Kozmos. Like, they're against any other deck, they're so unfair, because not only can they solve their brick hands with their field spell, they can just keep plussing off of it. Every time that you try to get rid of their spaceships and they banish themselves, you can just re-add them, and it just they just they're just not fair. But luckily, I'm playing Yang Zings against them, so that that helps. But yeah, Yang Zings definitely have the upper hand against Kozmos. So if any budget players want to play this deck, you can pick up Yang Zing Zefras. The only thing that's not budget friendly are the Archfiend Eccentrics, which are like 80 apiece. So you can technically play the deck without them. Just know that you're more susceptible to being floodgated with vanities and um, yeah, just any monster that is a floodgate or spellers or traps that are floodgates. But I feel like those would just come into play in game two anyways. So you can just cite in your MSTs. So here I'm going to pendulum stuff. And I was thinking about pendulum summoning 3, but I was afraid he might have had a warning or a time space. Now here's where I made the misplay. I should have activated Jiaotu's effect first before trying to pendulum summoning, because now I don't have a Zefra monster in the extra to use the Divine Strike with. And that would have been a perfect time to negate his time space if I activated Jiaotu. But yeah, there's just a lot of combinations with this deck. Sometimes you forget, and so at least I still get the Zephyr effect because it doesn't time space doesn't negate their effects. So he thought that he could only just pay 1,000 to return everything, but I told him it's 1,000 for each. So so yeah, I should have used Jiaotu's effect before and then spring the Divine Strike, because I was trying to keep the Zephyr because I wanted to pendulum the Zephyr to get the plus off of him, and that wouldn't work if I use the Divine Strike to banish him from my extra deck. So that's why I kind of like you just go through several decision trees in your mind and you just kind of forget sometimes when you go back. So always try to like double check your work when you're like going through all these decision trees. So that was my mistake with the pendulum before using the Jiaotu's effect. But it doesn't matter. I think here I still am able to get over his field. Man, if he had Maxi at this spot, then that would have been just awful. I feel like he shouldn't have wasted his Maxi. Like if he was a better player, I would have saved the Maxi when I make a big push instead of using it when you're being offensive. Because Maxi is not only a way to keep drawing cards, but it's also a tempo blocker. You know, basically I would have had to OTK him or pretty much just lose, you know? So I feel like he should have waited for the Maxi effect. And here I'm not too concerned about his Dark Destroyer yet because I feel like I can still synchro into another monster to get over it. So that's why I used Baxia first. So here I'm just trying to draw into more cards and activate Oracle to get, I was thinking about getting Zephyr, but I realized I still want him in the deck because sometimes I summon stuff from the deck, so I need him in the deck. So I'm going to activate Baxia's second effect to bring back Jiaotu from the grave, and then Suwani triggers. And here I decide to activate Chiwen along with all of that. But I was planning on, synchroing another monster, but I realized later that I didn't have enough material because I already normal summon. I don't... Have I normal summoned? I don't remember. Yeah, there's just so much going on, you don't realize what you've done or not, so it requires a lot of patience here. So yeah, I'm thinking about going into Igniter because he doesn't target and he shuffles back Dark Destroyer, which is great. But I was also thinking about Beals, because Beals would be a big beater. But ultimately, I decided to go into the Draco Slayer. So I think 8, go into Draco Slayer, because I have an extra Zefraxy, so I don't mind blowing up that one. And then I shuffle that. And he thinks Igniter targets, but I tell him it doesn't. And then, yeah, technically I could have made Armory Arm and dealt a lot of damage. Here I was deciding whether or not I should attack Dogfighter, because I was concerned if he summons off a Psychic and then Dark Destroyers me. Like if he had another Dark Destroyer in his hand, I didn't want that to happen. So I wanted to kind of wait to destroy Dogfighter. So that's the reason why I didn't attack over the Dogfighter. But in reality, I think I should have just attacked over it, because I had the Divine Strike anyways. So there's no reason why I shouldn't have just attacked over it. And then I realized his token is actually stronger than my attack, his defense. So I'll just take that as a mistake. So then I'll just attack over it with Igniter. And that's... yeah, so I already used both of Baxia's effects, so I can't really trigger the Chi-Wen or something like that. So yeah, he's going to generate another token. So what is he going to do here? He's looking at the extra. Yeah, for those who are thinking about taking out MSTs in the main, do not take out MSTs. I think they're really good this format to main deck, because you know there's all these pendulum decks going around, and Kozmos play back row now, so I would keep those MSTs in. So he goes into Good Witch, or the Wicked Witch, kills my Chi-Wen, and then goes for a rank 4. So he kind of has to make an awkward play in order to get rid of my field. So I'm assuming he doesn't have the Dark Destroyer in hand, so that kind of makes me feel safe. So I'm gonna Zefra Divine Strike his on arc. And so now he's in trouble if he doesn't do anything else. He is in trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna MST one of his back row. And it's an E-Telly, so that's not bad. Okay, so now I'm gonna... okay, so he was gonna quit. I was gonna Pendulum, but he realized he was just too far behind. So here I'm deciding what to side in and out. I feel like chicken games can put me in a dangerous position, because they can always like MST it after they use it themselves, and then MST it and then just kind of go for game. So I don't want a situation like that to happen. And then I also side in Maxis against them, because it just kind of forced them to stop attacking and spamming in the battle phase. And so I decided to side in a Raigeki, because I feel like Raigeki is still decent in a Yang Zing deck versus Kozmos, because Yang Zing kind of has to sometimes, not always, but sometimes they have to synchro out of their way. Like they rather make multiple Baxias and then just kind of facilitate more synchros by targeting another Yang Zing, and then kind of just sprouting more Yang Zing monsters, and then just OTKing. So I feel like just not being forced to make Draco Slayer right away is decent to have Raigeki for that. So he's gonna max C me here. So for those who don't know, Jiao2 is actually a cost to send the Yang Zings. So if that was an effect Veiler, that would have been really really hard. But it wasn't. It was just a maxi. So I just let the Shiwen die because I don't want to give him any more cards. So I got the lockdown with Void Ogre and Imperial Armwall. And there's no point in negating a Kozmo Town because when it gets destroyed, he's just going to add another one. And so he's going to reshuffle. Hopefully he doesn't get such a good hand. Wow, that's a lot of back row. So here, I'm going to set my Yang Zing right away so I don't allow him to activate anything. So he's going to activate Storming, and I'm going to negate with Void. And then he's going to MST my Imperial. So he kind of made me bait that out, or he bait that out. But when I had a card in hand, he could have just MST'd the Imperial. But perhaps he just wanted to chain it so that, I don't know, he could still have the effect or something. Okay, so he's going to activate, or summon Farm Girl. It's going to take 500. And he's going to summon the Forerunner. Summoning the Forerunner, eh? Yeah, I guess that's the best move because then he can just recycle it with the Kozmo Town. Wow. That's just something there. I mean, I drew three Zephyr, so either I don't get the Void Ogre Dragon's effect or I lock myself out of Pendulum Summoning, so that was very unfortunate there. So hopefully he doesn't activate anything important. So he's going to kill Chiwen, and then I'm going to bring out Suwani. Yeah, this is not helping. I need to... level 6 synchros are kind of bad. The only way level 6 synchros in this deck is pretty good is if you make Metaphys Horus, because that card, if you make it with a Pendulum, you can actually steal their monster and it doesn't even target. So, yeah. So he kills my Suwani. I'm going to summon Jiao2 because I already have another one, so he's going to kill one of them, so that way I leave a Jiao2 on the field still, and I'll be able to make a synchro play. So I'll summon Beyond, and MST doesn't really help here. I think going on forward, I think I should just not side in MSTs because they just have a lot of back row, and I mean, one MST versus a multiple back row isn't that great, so I think I'm just gonna probably just side in a lot of dark holes and stuff. Actually, that wouldn't be good because then they're just gonna recycle with Kozmo Town. Probably, yeah, just probably side in Imperials and leave everything else. So this Kozmo player isn't that smart because he is... What he should be doing is attacking the Yang Zing that is forced to summon in attack mode. So he would attack with the Forerunner first and then attack over with the Farm Girl. So that would have been the smarter play. But for some reason he just attacks with the Farm Girl first. So here I finally get a play here because I got the other scale. And here I've got plenty of options. Now I'm gonna blind MST, which I highly recommend you don't because it's just a bad idea. But in this situation, it was actually a good hit because that Horn of Heaven would have been a pretty bad hit to, because, yeah. So he's thinking, I assume he's gonna have a Vanities, and he does. And I'm thinking, oh crap, if he has Honest in his hand, I'm kind of locked out of special summoning. But if he has something like Storming Mirror Force, I can still Synchro, because he'll be forced to use it, and then Vanities will go. So that's why I'm gonna leave my Beyond in defense, and then switch Void Ogre to attack. I'm gonna attack the Forerunner because if he has the Honest, at least he won't get a plus off of it. But he's okay. That was kind of, oh, I didn't realize he was asking for a response. So he was chaining to his Vanities to summon the Dogfighter. So okay. So that goes, and then I'm just gonna tribute summon Zephyr. Reason being is I want to pendulum the other one, and you know, still have high levels to synchro with, because I can just pendulum back anyways. So here I'm gonna activate Baxia's effect. He should really wait for me to target first, because I was gonna target Dogfighter anyways. But so basically, Baxia's Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, he activates Time Space, and then Void Ogre negates it. And then MST will target his own Kozmo town, destroying it. So Baxia will just only shuffle the Dogfighter. But it's still game here because I'm just going to pendulum everything and synchro into a Yazi or something like that. And yeah, and then I get Zephyr's effect. So man, that's just a lot of advantage there. So yeah, he quits, and so like I said, I think Zefra Yang Zings have a great matchup against Kozmos. So yeah, definitely give Yang Zings a try. The Archfiend Eccentrics may be quite expensive, like $80 a pop, but you still can play without them. It's just you won't be as impervious to floodgates. You would have to side a little better for them. But other than that, I think the whole deck should cost around maybe like 150 with all the synchro